we're going to learn how to round decimals without using a number line. So to round means to find an approximate value. So if I have an example here, round 7 and 836 thousandths to the nearest 10, I'm going to follow a certain number of steps. So the first step is to underline the digit in the place you are rounding to. Well, this asks me to round 7 and 836 thousandths to the nearest tenth. And I know that the 8 is in the tenths place, so I'm going to underline the 8. My next step is to look at the digit in the place to the right and circle it. And the digit to the right is the 3. We call this digit the bossy pants because it tells the rounding place what to do. Now in the number 7 and 836 thousandths, I'm going to underline and circle again, we have to think 5 and above, give it a shove. 4 and below, let it go. So since 3 is less than 5, it's 4 and below, we're going to let it go, which means we are going to not bump the 8 up, but we also don't bump it down because we already have 8 tenths. We are just trying to find out if we're going to bump it up or if it's closer to 9 tenths or not. So everything before the underlined digit stays the same. And then you have your underlined digit. And then everything after the underlined digit turns to zeros. So 7 and 836 thousandths rounded to the nearest tenth is 7 and 8 tenths, or 7 and 800 thousandths. So now if I were to round 4 and 578 thousandths to the nearest hundredth, I would first underline the rounding place, and then I'm going to circle the digit to the right. So I would keep everything before the same. And now I'm going to look to the bossy pants, and the bossy pants is 5 and above. So that means I'm going to bump the 7 up to an 8, and everything else turns to a 0. But with decimals, I don't actually have to put the 0 in there. The next one, round $5.32 to the nearest dollar. And if you remember before, I said that rounding to the nearest dollar is like code for rounding to the nearest 1. So I'm going to underline the ones place. Then the tenths will now be the bossy pants, and it's 4 below, so I'm going to let it go. So the 5 stays a 5, and everything afterwards turns to zeros. Now I want you to pause the video and try the last two on your own.